What's going on?
Oh, sure. This is LaVoy.
Hey, LaVoy, how you doing? You got Nighthawk here.
Yes.
Just wanted to call in and see if we get some daily updates, what's going on out there and how everybody's doing and what's going on.
Oh, sure. It's Monday, and so I don't, kind of the worst time to actually do things in the media cycle is what the NBC reporter told me is on Fridays and Saturdays, and unfortunately we did one of the most important things here on Saturday. I don't know if you had a chance to follow what happened Saturday here.
Yeah, I caught quite a bit of that.
Okay, excellent. Well, that is definitely the most major thing that has happened outside of us just coming here and taking over the refuge center here. To have those ranchers stand up and sign that declaration of emancipation from those federal contracts is
right.
just an amazing thing.
I think you guys are doing a fantastic job out there getting, things are actually starting to happen now. So.
Yes. And so we let the media know the first of the week that this Saturday, which was last Saturday, we were going to have a signing ceremony, and we had a rancher with a lot of grit, Adrian Sewell from Silver City, Mexico, and he says, I'm ready to stand up for the Constitution. He sat down with Hammond, and they took the time to go over all those parts of the Constitution, until he had a clear understanding of, he knew it was wrong, but by the time he was done, he had the points of law and the points of the Constitution, so that he had an understanding of where he stood at in relationship to the law. He flew out here, and he was the third person in America to sign that Emancipation Proclamation and say, I no longer will recognize the federal government as the overlord of these lands. I shall uphold the state and the counties, and I shall ranch on these lands as a free man. I will uphold the rights of the hunter to access, and the rights of the camper and the recreationalist, and we shall live in these lands as we have been doing for 100+ years successfully, and without that overreaching, overbearing hand of the federal government.
Right, yeah. Unfortunately, Sherry had to go home. She's going to try to come back out there and work with you guys some more as soon as we can get her out there. Funding's always an issue, and they got their own ranch to run.
Right. And the thing of it was is that after he signed it, there's a Harney County rancher says, you know what? I'm done with this. I am through with this oppression. And
that's awesome.
He walked right in there and, spilled his heart on all the things he has seen over the years here. He says, let me see that. I'm signing. So he signed it. And then 8 ranchers in Utah stood up and signed those Emancipation Proclamations. And they were, so now you have 10. For 20 years it was one, Clive and Bundy, and one day you've got 10. And now this Friday we have a rancher on his own that's home in the county next to us in Malheur County, and he's going to stand up and counsel his, and he's got other ranchers who are going to stand beside him. And so, and then we had actually just about a half hour ago, kind of a delegation of ranchers from Montana that came here. And so you're seeing an awakening in a country of requiring the federal government to say no longer will we bow down to this.
Yeah, I seen today that Grant County, right, I think it's right next to Harney County, ain't it?
Yes. Yeah, they reached out to us last week and said that the citizens there, and my understanding is they got a really tough sheriff there that's a pretty good guy.
Yeah, he was.
Said, could you come and talk with us? Yeah,
he did an interview on the internet today, and had called the sheriff up there and said, they really need to go to an effort to get the FBI out of there and to release the Hammonds. But that in my opinion, the Hammonds are political prisoners at this point.
Oh, absolutely they are. I mean, how is it that we as Americans can sit by and say, well, yeah, it didn't happen to us. Some bad things happen to good people, and so that's just Hammond's law, and we'll forget about them and move on with our daily lives. Why is it that we say that this is supposed to be the new normal, that we must sit by as citizens and accept such an atrocity and say, well, we exhausted all the political and all the legal avenues, and so there's no more we can do, and we're citizens of laws, and so we'll just meekly stay in line and say, well, it's not just, but what else can we do? And we're saying, no way. No way. You out yourself.
I think it's just been the educational system of the years, and then the media spin and all that kind of stuff has just kind of put everybody thinking that this is the normal, in which we are a country ruled by regulations and ordinances, and not a law that is laid down. So
what we have is that we're supposed to have a republic where our laws are we have representatives that represent us. But let's consider the reality of it. We all know about the National Registry. 120,000 pages a year is placed on the National Registry, and if there is nobody that opposes that regulation that's put on there just by somebody gets in a room and says, well, we'll make this a regulation, it becomes law. And, I probably shared this with you, but one of my favorite movies is The Gladiator. I don't like how violent it is. And so, but having said that, there's some real principles in there that we should listen to. And remember, Commodus, he's the emperor. He just killed his father, and he's mad at the Senate. He says, I'm about ready to disband the Senate. And his sister says, oh, brother says, let the people have their illusions. And that's what we have. We have an illusion of a republic. We have an illusion of a representative form of government, and we do not.
No, we don't.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we absolutely do not. My daughter has a lot of friends, and they don't get educated correctly. When I went to school, we had government and current events classes, and they were required, and they just aren't now. And American history, I remember when she brought her American history book. I used to go through all her books when she brought them home from school, when I could get her to bring them home from school so I could look at them. Mm-hmm. And, and there are so many mistakes and falsehoods in there. And, the leaders of the American Revolution was actually kind of portrayed as if they were terrorists. And,
right.
And just stuff like that. Well, her friends used to come over here, and, and they come into into the radio station. They hear all the stuff we're talking about, and of course they're young kids, so they're fascinated by the fact I got 6 monitors in front of me at all times.
well,
But the point I'm trying to make is I would sit down and start explaining this stuff to them, and it's like a new light came into their eyes.
Yeah.
They want to know this stuff. They just don't get taught it. And when they started learning this stuff, it was like a light just popped on in their eyes. And then they would come back and just sit here riveted while I explained this stuff to them for hours.
Well, because it's a true principle. And so it strikes upon the chords of the soul. And people respond to the principles of freedom. And so when they hear it, they see it. They recognize it as truth. And then they respond to it. Good people do. People that love power and control, they don't respond so well. They hate it, actually. They do.
Oh, they detest it. I had some issues with my network, and we got it turned back on today, and the phone guy said that my fiber network was shut down remotely. The logs were erased. There's only 2 people that can do that. That's Windstream and the government. That's it.
Yep.
So,
and you need to understand that this is we're battling for the hearts and minds right now of freedom, and so we're battling for the souls of men to stand up and be free. And so you get attacked in many ways. This rancher, Adrian Sewell, as soon as he signed that, his poor wife was hammered online, the death threats, the attacks. And, he says, I thought I knew there'd be some pushback, especially I had no idea it would be so quick and so filthy and so venomous. And so you need to understand that when you strike upon that power structure, that there are agents that want to hold that up, and they become unleashed. And that as a poor young man and a young family, they have been just hammered, but they got courage, and they're standing their ground.
Right.
And that's the thing that I have found that is most lacking as I have dealt with people. They understand the understanding comes into their eyes, and as we teach these things, and the light goes on. But then they say, "But if I stand up, they'll come after me. I might be the next. I might be the next Hammond family." And then they say, "Will you leave? Are you going to leave us if we start standing up?" And so we commit to them. We shall not leave you. We are not going to come in here and kick an ant in bed and then walk away and let it go crazy. We will stand here.
Right.
To protect all of you who will stand.
Well, here's the question that a lot of people have posed to me is they've said, well, once they can get the community working on board and get the community to come out there and occupy and do that, are you guys going to just stay there, or are you going to jump and move to the next necessary situation? Because there are things like this going on all over the country. You know that as well as I do. I'm preaching to the choir with that.
I got some lost cows that I surely would need to run back and try to find. I'm just a small rancher, so when I start losing a few cows, it takes a big bite out of me. And so, I'd love to go back and spend some time at home, but I have committed to these people that they say, will you leave us? Will you leave us? And I say, we shall not leave a moment too soon.
Well, yeah. If you leave too soon, Degrassi's going to get a hold of it. I heard that he canceled tonight's meeting because the community demanded to hear from Ammon. Is that true?
Well, say that last line again.
I read today that Degrassi canceled the community meeting now, or tonight, that was scheduled tonight, because the community is demanding to hear from Ammon Bundy.
I think that they don't want to hear from Judge Grassi too much anymore. He's going to have the meeting in the schoolhouse, and there wasn't enough people saying, well, we'll move it to the senior citizen center, and we got to have tickets, and you got to go through a scanner, and you got to show your ID. And I think everybody says, you know what? I don't want to do that. And I believe nobody ever wanted to show up. So says, oh, it's all canceled. I better say it's because of security concerns. That's
right.
I think how it really went down.
Well, and here comes another constitutional freedom, the right to peaceful assembly.
Yeah, you better go through a scanner, better show your ID, and and you're not welcome if you don't fit the parameters that we want.
Right, and walk by their gold-fringed flag.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even understand that when you go into a courtroom now, it has nothing to do with constitutional courts. It's admiralty court and monetary court, and that's because we have a 4-color flag now, and it's because it's got gold fringe around it.
Got gold fringe around it. It's admiralty. That's my understanding. I don't know a whole lot about that, but I just know that it's not the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I had a guy call me. I don't know how he got my home phone number. I think I'm going to have to go enlist it again, but he called and schooled me for like an hour and a half on something I already knew.
Well, maybe send it my way and give me some schooling. I'm still open for lots of education, and it's been a fast learning curve, and I loved it, and I'm ashamed that I haven't learned it earlier. I'm well over 50 years old, and I should have been on the forefront of this a long time ago, but I'm trying to make up for ground right now. Lost ground.
Yeah, actually, I was talking to Jason there, asking if he had anything he wanted to ask you. We're all just so busy jumping around trying to keep up with everything. We've been watching the airport for you guys, and actually posture is down. The number of vehicles is way down for you guys. So
let me just throw this out here. Some of the intel that's coming into it says that for the amount of activity that is seen in town of personnel, that the airport does not is not warranting that that level of activity. And so they are saying that they believe that they have within a 150-mile radius another stage of operation.
They may have. I have been using satellite views to go find possible areas, and I
found anything.
I haven't. Well, there's a lot of things, but they're old satellite photos, so I can't say there's anybody there. But there are several areas, and there's another center a little bit north of you guys. It's like you got to take 3 turns, and it looks like about 18 miles north and east of you guys, and which could be staged, and it doesn't look like anybody's ever there. It's like some kind of like wildlife station or something.
Well, because of you figure that the response time that they need, you figure that the radius would need to be within about 150 miles. You need to look at about a 2-hour lead time.
Right.
And so,
well, I mean that wildlife center or whatever the heck. I don't have your email.
Army County Resource Center.
Yeah. Well, no, it's north and east of you guys. It's a smaller place.
Another one.
Yeah, and you got to go. It's 18 miles or so. That might explain the other intel we got with the guys in the snowmobiles, because they could be on you in 18 minutes in snowmobiles.
Yeah, and so thank goodness all the snow's melting.
Yeah, there you go. I wish mine would. I still got 16 sitting on the ground. And I'm in Kentucky. We don't really get snow here. It was quite a surprise.
Oh, yeah. Hello?
All righty. Well, it looks like that's our set wrap for the day, folks. Thanks a lot, LaVoy. Is there anybody else there that has anything they would like to add?
No, we just say everybody be safe, and we appreciate everybody's prayers, and just letting everybody know that easy does it, steady she goes. We're holding our course, and we're working hard every day.
All right, LaVoy. I'll talk to you tomorrow. You have a good night, and everybody stay safe and warm.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right. Good night.